Well, hello. We're just going to do a quick feeding for the king cobra who came out of shed the other day. I have not pulled it out of the cage for some strange reason, but I will shortly. But yeah, we're going to sit here and chill for a minute. We're going to actually feed Dave the king cobra a couple road-killed rattlesnakes, Northern Pacific rattlesnakes. There, let me show you these. So these snakes were actually hit and killed by cars, whatnot, and I grab them and I take them home and I put them in the freezer, and then I leave them there for a couple weeks to to kill parasites and whatnot that are potentially in the wild snakes, and then they eventually end up on the dinner plate of Dave the king cobra. All right, there we go. So yeah, I originally thought there was just one snake in here, and I totally forgot there were two, and now that I see them, I remember. So yeah, these freaking snakes, these are not actually killed by freaking vehicles. I found these in the middle of the road, well, on a bridge, in the middle of a bridge. Basically how you see them, no heads, no tails. So some stupid cretin thought that was funny, to kill the rattlesnake, just to take its tail and its head. Oh, look how strong I am, how cool I am. I can kill the snake that's minding its own business. But as much as that sucks, it does give Dave food, and the snake is not going to waste at all. And these snakes are not endangered, so he's actually going to get both of these bad boys. These are, as far as Northern Pacific rattlesnakes go, these are really good sized. I mean, they do get a little bit bigger than that, but not a whole lot. So if I had to guess, each of these are about 3 feet. But yeah, somebody found them on the road before I did and killed them and cut their heads off, cut their tails off, and then I came along and recovered them, froze them, and that's just how it is. So what we're going to do with these, we're going to feed these snakes both to Dave the king cobra, who is over here in his hide box, but he is patiently waiting. He is definitely hungry, and he is ready to eat. So let me just put this camera where it's at. Yo, sorry about that. I'm just setting up the camera so we can feed a king cobra. Those of you who did not hear me talk already. And there we go. So we're going to take out the wedge right here. And we're going to slide out. I can see him. You may not be able to see him, but his head, there it is, right there. You see him? That's a Malaysian Indonesian king cobra. You're going to see him here shortly in just a second. So let me get the glass opened wide. That way he can lunge out at me and murder me. Oh yeah, he's definitely aware of what's going on. And he's probably aware that we're going to feed him. Jesus loves me. You know what? I think he loves you too, brother. I think he loves you too. All right, so here we go. We have the first rattlesnake, Northern Pacific rattlesnake, and he should eat this one pretty quick. All right. Oh, yeah, there he comes. There he comes. There you go. All right, all you, buddy. He's going to smell it. Even though it doesn't have a head, he doesn't give a shit. There we go. So this particular king cobra was bred by Andy Maddox. Ooh. Yeah, you worry about the snake. Don't worry about me. And it's a cross between a Malaysian king cobra and an Indonesian king cobra. And I got him. He was about 15 inches long. He was only 5 days out of the egg. There you go. And he just turned 2 years old last week. So he's a freaking awesome. Oh, don't go in there. Don't go in there. People want to see you, bud. Don't go in there. I hope he doesn't go in there. Here, we'll try not to move too much. We're just going to observe him doing his thing. King cobras are snake eaters in the wild. That's what they do. And fortunately, my guy here readily eats rodents as well. So he's going to eat this Northern Pacific rattlesnake pretty quick. And we're just going to observe him. But I try to feed snakes as often as possible because a all rodent diet for king cobras can have negative health on them in the long run. Oh, so this is Avery. This is my basically Malaysian king cobra eating a road-killed rattlesnake. So both the rattlesnakes he's getting ready to eat, including the one he's currently eating, they were killed basically in the mountains where I live. Some idiot local chopped their heads off and chopped their tails off for no particular reason other than to say, "Hey, I killed a rattlesnake. Look how tough I am." But yeah, I drive up and down the roads, probably 3 or 4 times a week in the evenings, and any road-killed snakes that I find that are big enough, I will take them home, put them in the freezer, which is a rodent, freezer. It's not, mixed in with my like food or anything, and leave them there for a couple weeks, kill the parasites, and then they'll eventually find their way onto the king cobra dinner plate. But I'll alternate with this guy, so I feed him about once every 10 days or so. It's actually been closer to 20 days because the last time I fed this guy, right as it was getting ready to feed him again, he went into shed, and he was in shed for like, literally didn't even come out of his hide box for like 6 days. So that's why we're a little bit late, but he is eating readily, as you can see. And I know you only see a small portion of him, but he is very close to 8 feet long. He's over, probably between 7.5 and 8 feet long. And one of my favorites, my absolute favorite snake in the reptile room here. You can see there's a bunch of stuff here, but so anyway, he's doing his business, putting down some food, and that just makes me happy. We actually had 3 king cobras come into Oregon. I actually ordered all 3 of them, but I was only keeping one. I ordered another one for 2 buddies of mine. They each got one. And mine was the only one that came to Oregon that actually made it. Because when king cobra, when they're babies, when they're neonates, let me adjust the camera there, they can be very, very tricky to stay alive. I actually had to force feed mine basically smashed up, puttied pinky rats or pinky mice with egg yolk for like 2 months. And one day I gave him a dead garter snake, and he took it, and as soon as he did that, it was game on. I mean, he just turned into a ferocious eater, and the rest is history. Here we are 2 years later, and he just shed the other day. Here's a shed right there that I haven't taken out yet. That was, I think, yesterday morning. I meant to take it out, but I was bullshitting. So let's see here what we got here. But yeah, this is a cross between a Malaysian king cobra and an Indonesian king cobra. And neither one of these snakes are that long, the rattlesnakes that he's eating, but both of them together is definitely one heck of a meal for him. And we'll see if he even eats the second one, but I'm pretty sure he will. But yeah, this is Dave the King Cobra. And if you have not seen this channel yet, Dave lives in a 10-foot long enclosure that's it's 3 feet from bottom to top, and it's 3 feet from front to back as well. And directly below him is our black-throat monitor lizard, who's actually on the other side of the piece of wood right now. So we don't get to see him. And we got other venomous snakes in here as well. So, green mamba over there, gaboon viper, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to go live because I was feeding him. I already fed the remaining collection the other day. So look at that, there he goes. When it comes to eating snakes, these guys are freaking pros. Yeah, he'll get it down. Of course, that rattlesnake is actually really chunky. It makes me wonder if it's gravid or not. I mean, I have no idea. Probably. I mean, it's a really good chance with being how thick it is. See how just crazy thick that thing is? It sucks that if it is gravid, that the babies aren't going to be in the wild. But like I said, at least the snake itself is just not going to waste because some asshole cut its head off and cut its rattle off. But yeah, old Dave the mighty King Cobra. You know what I want to have done? I want to find somebody who can do some really good calligraphy, and I'd like to have them write King, and then on this side, Cobra over there. I think that'd be pretty neat. But it has to be somebody far, far better at it than I. I haven't touched calligraphy since I was in like 3rd grade. Let's do a little zoom in action here. There we go. He's putting it down. Putting it down. Good job, Dave. Dave's a freaking pimp around here. I bet half the city I live in knows about Dave. And many of them have actually been over to the house and seen Dave and the rest of the collection. But he's cool, man. And he is growing. That's crazy. At 2 years old, he was about 7.5 feet long. A little over 7.5 feet long. But yeah, he gets a steady diet of snakes and rodents. So I think I got deviated, but yeah, I feed him, like I said, every 10 days or so, a snake, and then I alternate snakes, rodents, like that. That way he's not getting a complete diet of rodents. Rodents are definitely cheaper, but as long as I have snakes to give him, he will definitely get snakes. But it's actually pretty easy to get these guys to eat mice, because basically what I do, mice or rats, you know, whichever one you feed them, you take it, you thaw out the mouse or rat, and you wash it off in the sink with just water, you know, no soap, nothing like that, just straight water. And then you dry it really, really good. And then you take a piece of a dead snake, like a piece of a garter snake or something like that you got frozen, and you just rub it all over the mouse or the rodent. And the king cobra smells it, and he thinks it's a snake, and he just chows it down. So, and it's kind of comical watching these guys eat rodents, because they are not designed to eat rodents. So even a simple mouse for this almost 8-foot snake takes him several minutes to get down. But he gets it down, and then, you know, I'm thankful for that. But my buddy, I have an acquaintance that's up north in the Eugene, Oregon area, who also keeps king cobras, and he feeds his like frog legs and chicken legs and things like that. So I've never offered that to Dave, but I will at some point. Dave, are you getting that damn thing down, bro? What's going on here? Dave is not happy about something. You know what? I didn't even bother to check. I hope there's no piece of like bone that's where his head was cut off. I hope there's no piece there that is like poking him or anything. Damn, I should have checked that. Because he just backed off it a few inches. Let's see what's going on here. Dave, can I help out at all, bud? Here, let me straighten it out for you. There you go. There you go. That was kind of peculiar. I hope there's no, like I said, no piece of bone where the head was cut off that's scraping him on the inside. I hope that's not happening. That would not make me happy. Now he's like, give me my privacy. Go ahead, bud. But yeah, Dave's my boy. But here we go. We'll just take a quick glance around the room. We have an albino monocled cobra, western diamondback albino. On the bottom, we have Crotalus culminatus, Costa Rica rattlesnake, rhino viper. In here's a coral cobra hidden in the rocks. We have the Indian cobra right here. And then over here, the controversial duo. We have a gaboon viper with a green mamba at the same time in the same enclosure. They've been together for over a year, and I was definitely not the first person to do this. So, and then on the bottom, we have the 7.5-foot long forest cobra, who is currently digesting a very large rat, hence the giant bulge in his body right there. So, that's the rest of this particular room. Well, this is the main room, but here we go. All right, Dave is continuing on. Okay, Dave has made progress, so whatever the issue was, he has pushed past it. Dave, you doing good? He's like, dude, you know I don't speak English, man. I don't know what you're doing. But any venomous keepers out there? Any king cobra keepers out there watching? I think yeah, there's just one other keeper here in Oregon that keeps king cobras. What are you, death curling the rattlesnake that's already dead? That is a little a little thick part right there he might be having a little bit of a trouble with, but I think he'll get it down. But yeah, I just wanted to do a live stream, show Dave eating. He should be able to get it down. It's just going to take him a minute. Does he have a piece of bark right there? No, he's good. Okay. You're good, Dave. Keep going, buddy. As he's spinning around for some strange reason. I hope there's not a problem. Oh, he's still gripping and moving forward. You got it, bud. You know, Dave might be almost 8 feet long, but his head isn't that big, so I hope the girth of this rattlesnake is not too much for him. That would suck. Come on, buddy. Keep doing your thing. Progress, but looks like he's definitely having some difficulty there. But he's still trying to go. That's the important part. So if he's still trying to go, that means he's not in too much trouble. It just might be a little bit thick. Yeah, our Northern Pacific rattlesnakes, they are not giant rattlesnakes by any means. Like a truly exceptional Northern Pacific rattlesnake is going to be 4 feet long, but I've never personally seen one that big. I've just seen pictures and, you know, the story from people that say, oh, I seen a rattlesnake that crossed a whole lane of traffic. As dumb as that is, but whatever. All right. If we could just get past the hump, I think he's going to be good. And I think he's slowly getting there. Keep going, buddy. Yeah, I hope I didn't give him something too big. And if he gets this down, I'm actually questioning whether he's going to be able to eat the second one. He's plenty long enough for it. I may just hold off on the second one. I hate refreezing things, but I'll do it once, and only once. Come on, Dave. Keep going, bud. You're getting it. I hope. Almighty Dave the King. Come on, bud. Get down there. Oh, you try to drag it inside the freaking hide box now? Well, if he does that, I'll just cut the live feed because... Oh, there he goes. He's progressing. Okay, keep going. Keep going, buddy. I don't ever want to see him fail at eating something just because I didn't consider the size or the girth being too big. Then I'd feel like a moron. But I appreciate you all out there watching, taking an interest in my interest. That's basically what this channel is. It's just kind of doing my thing with my snakes and various other things. Did anybody else see the airplane video I posted earlier? I fly big RC airplanes, and I destroyed my biggest airplane this morning, and I'm kind of sad over that. But life goes on. If you're just joining, we're just watching the King Cobra put down a rattlesnake. Excuse me. And he's getting it done. He's getting it done. Keep going, bud. Keep going. While he does that, I'm going to check this other one just to make sure there's no... Yeah. I don't think anything that would cause him an issue. Any bony protrusions from where whoever it was that cut off the head. It was not me. But yeah, I go and get all these snakes that I find on the roads in the evenings and the day. As long as they're not rotting or been out there for days, I'll get them, bring them back, put them in the freezer. As a matter of fact, I would bet 70% of the snakes I do find are so fresh that they're still wiggling, even though they're dead, just nerves and stuff like that. But especially the big gopher snakes, sometimes I'll find them, 4 feet long, and Dave puts those down real quick. It looks like he's about halfway with this. It's giving him a little bit of trouble because it's got a pretty girthy midsection, which is testing the limits of Dave's jaw. But he is getting it down. Yes, he is. Dave, come out of there, dude. Stretch out. One thing I definitely don't want to do is mess with him while he's doing that, because if he regurgitates that whole thing, I would not be too happy about that. Get her done, bud. Get her done. Any fellow Oregonians out there watching? Anybody else in the mighty metropolis or mighty state of Oregon? I'm in Southern Oregon, so I'm 3 hours south of Portland. The old monocled Cobra over there. Hey, I don't know if anybody's interested, but anybody interested in King Cobra Shed, want to use it for jewelry making or anything like that, hit me up, man. I'll send it to you. No big deal. It's not every day you get a King Cobra shed. I know I have some friends that actually take sheds and stuff like that, and they make resin jewelry out of them. You know, put them in pendants and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. Okay, he is definitely past the big portion, thankfully. So he looks like he's getting a little bit tuckered out, but he is gonna make it. Keep going, Dave. You're doing great, bud. Dave is by far my favorite snake in this room, and when I got my first King Cobra, it was the Holy Grail snake, you know, and it may not be to some, but still, it is absolutely my favorite venomous snake. Because ever since I got my first venomous snake when I was 16, I got a Great Basin rattlesnake in Eastern Oregon. I've never really cared about anything non-venomous. It just kind of piqued my interest, and I've gone from there. All right, doing good. Dave, you are freaking doing it, bro. Good job, man. Yeah, this is the longest he's actually gone about food. I know I talked about it already, but the majority you probably didn't hear. I feed him about every 10 days, and this time, after he ate, he went about 9 days or so, and next thing you know, he went straight into shed. So we had to wait for him to come out of shed before we could feed him again, because he won't touch anything while he's in shed, and you know, that's no big deal. And he was a thick, healthy snake anyway, so he is perfectly fine. But I'm thinking we're probably not going to feed him the other rattlesnake, and that sucks. I hate refreezing things, but I will do it once and only once. Because even though you know, he's 7.5 feet long, and the snake is only 3 feet, it's got some heavy girth to it. And I don't know if it's gravid or if it just ate a big meal, but there is definitely something inside the snake that is an additional food source that the King Cobra is going to digest, which is good. It benefits the snake and it helps me out. All right, you doing all right, bud? God, I love King Cobras, man. You know, definitely not a beginner venomous snake. For those of you who don't know, a King Cobra is the longest venomous snake on the planet. The record for these guys is over 18 feet long. Could you imagine? 18 feet in length. That's just insane. I've never seen one that big. I've seen pictures, but I think an average male King Cobra length is probably 14, 15 feet. You know, but you give them enough food and a good habitat, they will definitely get bigger than that. So, rocking it. So, if we have to take the other rattlesnake here and refreeze it, that's what we're going to do. Well, I was hoping he'd be able to eat both, but I'm thinking at this point that I was not correct. But I do appreciate you all for watching, man. I appreciate that. You know, I'm just a guy sharing my hobbies. Nothing more, nothing less. Zoom in there a little bit. Oh, yeah, he's getting it down. Getting it down, bud. I didn't see any responses. Anybody else out there keep venomous snakes or snakes in general? Anybody? We actually, about a week and a half ago or so, my dad found a Mexican black king snake crawling on the street in front of his house. And it is now in the other room. So I put up a couple Facebook postings trying to find the owner, but so far I have not gotten a response. Nice. Dude, good job, Dave. Dude, you're almost done. Keep going, bro. Keep going. You are almost done. Um, 1, 2, it'll be 5 feet. What's up, Ashton? I eat poo. Just okay, okay. I mean, that's a little weird, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess. Ashton, we're just feeding the king cobra. That's all we're doing. So it's hard to, give reference to his side, but his head from tip of his snout to the back of his jaw is probably about an inch and a half or so. But it is a lot bigger than when we first got him, when his head was about a 1/4 inch long with big bulbous eyeballs. It was actually comical. It was like his eyeballs were too big for his head. There we go. But yeah, just a road-killed snake being recycled into king cobra food. Doing good, bud. You're almost there. Keep going. You're almost there, dude. I'm still in great debate as to whether I should offer him the second snake or not, but I think I'm leaning towards no. Oh, shoot. Ashton, appreciate that, man. Or, sorry, I don't know. I haven't seen your profile, so I don't know. But thank you very much. Question, if I may. Why venomous snakes? Does it worry you that you could get hurt or anything? Okay, so, you know what? That's an outstanding question. So let me show you. First off, let's address other people in the house. First off, it's just my wife and I. But the room that the snakes are in is completely snake-proof. They cannot even crawl under the door, right? All the cages are locked, with the exception of these two. These have wedges in them because there's not enough room for the jeweler lock. But the wedges hold the snakes, the glass closed just fine. I also have a security camera up there. And every single crack in this room is freaking filled with expanding foam. So it's completely snake-proof enclosure. And it's just my wife and I, and I say, hey, what else can I do to make you feel safe? And she gives me the thumbs up, and we're good to go. Venomous snakes. Why venomous snakes? Okay, that's another question. So my parents divorced when I was very young. My brother and sister and I lived with our mother, and a lot of the times when our father would come see us, he would bring us a snake or a lizard, and when we got to see him, it was always revolved around being in the outdoors and catching these things and stuff like that. And I had always heard about rattlesnakes in Southern Oregon, and he had one time, and it just was the coolest thing in the world to me. A venomous snake, something that was actually dangerous, and it just piqued my interest. So I got my first rattlesnake when I was 16, an eastern or Great Basin rattlesnake, and then I was in the Army in the early 2000s, and I got a monocled cobra that had been fixed. They had taken the venom glands out of it, and that was my first quote unquote venomous snake, even though the venom glands were taken out. And then it was already an old snake when I got it, so it only lived for like a year and a half. But then several years later, I was in South Carolina, and I seen a flyer laying on the ground, and I saw it was Repticon in Columbus, South Carolina. And I got to go there, and it was only things that I had seen on freaking, like, in movies, right? Mambas, cobras, and whatnot. And, I'd had several types of rattlesnakes at that point, but I'd never had a venomous cobra. So I bought an Egyptian cobra, and then I had that for a while. And then several years after that, I moved to South Carolina, and I got into it a little bit heavier. I got a Gaboon Viper, monocled cobra, started getting some of the more experienced stuff like the king cobra you see here. I had a black mamba, eastern green mamba, things like that. It was just something that just really piqued my interest. I was fascinated by these just exotic animals, and I just kind of never looked back, and that's just the way it is. So I try to be safe. You're never going to see a video of me free handling. You're never going to see it because it's just completely stupid and an unnecessary risk. I'll leave all these other idiot YouTubers to do that for clicks and likes and all that stuff. But if I get bit by this snake or any snake in this room, I mean, it's not good for me at all. So I definitely take that into consideration, and I try to be as safe as I can. And I have tools that I use to keep the pointy end away from my hand, and I have snake hooks and different hooks and all the tubes, you know, for tubing snakes and stuff like that. So I try to be as safe as I possibly can. And I only touch these snakes when I'm taking them out of their enclosure to clean or something like that, which the king cobra I don't even have to take out because right behind him there's a sliding door that actually slides shut in his hide box. So I can just reach in with a snake hook when he's inside there and I can pull the door shut and he stays in there. But other than that, oh, see, like cleaning the terrariums. Oh, okay. So I actually have a big Rubbermaid garbage can with a lid on it that I actually put a plastic view window on, right? So snakes will come out of the cage with snake hooks and they'll go straight into the Rubbermaid container and where they're locked inside. That way I'm not cleaning a snake cage while the snake is still in it. Have I ever been bitten? Yes, I have. Not by a cobra or any exotic snake. I had one fang from an Arizona blacktail rattlesnake skint my finger right here, and literally it skint me that fast. I mean, it didn't even stick into my finger, but it put me in the hospital overnight. And that was probably 15 years ago. And when that happened, it made me reevaluate the way that I keep venomous snakes, and it has never happened since, thankfully. All right, Dave is downed the rattlesnake. Bro, you have downed it. Good job, man. I was getting a little worried right there. Look at the thickness of that body. You know, the rattlesnake was only about 3 feet long, but it was super thick, so that was a pretty damn good meal for him. Outstanding. So we're going to go ahead and freeze the other rattlesnake because I don't think he's going to want that, but if anybody wants the rattlesnake skin from the other day, you know, hit me up. Find me on Facebook. Same name, same goofy picture. And send me a private message. I'll send it to you, no big deal. In the United States, of course. I'm not going to ship it outside. But there you can see, so he's almost to the corner of the cage here. He's just behind a log. And his tail is all the way down here. Right? The inside of the cage is 9 feet 11 inches, something like that, whereas the outside is perfectly 10 feet. So yeah, if that gives you any reference to his size. There he comes. Hey, bud. You gonna come say hi? Huh? You got a big meal in you. Dude, I'm happy you ate, man. Yeah, brother. Hey, I will always attempt to do my best when it comes to safety with these animals, 100%. So, hey, I appreciate everybody for watching, and we'll see you all next time. And don't be afraid to hit that like and subscribe button, man. I appreciate it. You all have a great night and the rest of your week. Right, Dave? Yeah, right.